Good evening, everyone. We have had the most amazing sun this evening, and I've been sitting outside, hearing the birds and watching the dogs play all evening, and it's been just beautiful. This morning, the rune dagas came, and I was like, yeah, right. Because I was not at my best. I was not, uh, it was rough. It was okay, but rough. And mm, and then I slept a bit, and I went for a treatment with the amazing Mia En, who I think, who I know is part of this community, but I think she's a part of this group as well. I can highly recommend her treatments for a 2 hour session. She went through the whole of my body, and I can just feel life flowing through it again in such a different way. So that, yeah, that made me, created a new dawn and a new day. And it's been amazing since. So it feels fantastic to be here with you tonight. And so let's just take a deep breath together. To land in our bodies, to land on the place where you are at and in this circle. You're so welcome to let us know who's here right now. And also, if you listen afterwards, it's beautiful to just see that you're here. To know which people we connect with in this circle. And with this message, I've been longing to read this the whole day. I haven't read this book, so I'm reading it for the first time with all of you. And we are in the direction north right now, heading into compassion and empathy. And I think it's going to be amazing. So yeah, I've been looking forward to this all day. So I'm diving in now. Indigenous virtues, compassion and empathy. Compassion is the ability to feel the same feelings another person is having. Empathy is when we take action to change another person's experience because we feel compassion for that person. We synthesize both compassion and empathy when we're able to step into the experience of another person, aiming to understand their feelings and perspectives, and then use that understanding to guide our actions. We embody compassion when we deeply connect with the understanding that another being is a reflection of us. And we embody empathy when we assist that being in practical, earthly ways. Lila Watson, an Indigenous Aboriginal Australian elder, offers us these wise words of empathy. If you have come here to help me, you are wasting your time. But if you have come because your liberation is bound up with mine, then let us work together. Mm. Those are very, very rich words. This is a powerful description of empathy. But what does it mean for our liberation to be bound up with with that of other person? Martin Luther King Jr. explains it further. While confined in a jail in Birmingham, Alabama, he wrote, Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. The inescapable network of mutuality King is referring to is the potential humans have for compassion. Lila Watson's clarion call to action, then let us work together, is empathy. Compassion and empathy allow us to come together as one mind, love with one heart, and move together in a sacred direction as one unified family. This is the power of the teachings and earth medicine of the North. This is not to say that it's easy. What about all the bad people? What does it look like to work together to liberate those who intentionally and consciously commit harm? Are we going to convince the entire employee organization charge of certain companies that just by doing their jobs, they are destroying the environment, promoting war, or harming the health and wellness being of families? Of course not. Their paychecks are dependent on them not accepting that responsibility. How do we liberate these people? The answer is we don't. We concentrate on those who are awakening and breaking free from these systems. These are the people we can help here and now. The ripple will spread from there, and our collective vibe will eventually crumble the walls of these institutions and their way of thinking. This is the power of compassion and empathy. Unsila, compassion. We can directly experience compassion when we can look beyond the needs and circumstances of our own life and actually feel the feelings of others. Keep in mind that it's not always about feeling the pain and sorrow of others, for we can also choose to feel the happiness and joy of others. Compassion offers us the chance to practice focusing on all that's good and wonderful in the world in order to help bring much needed balance and symmetry to this world. Make it a point to practice compassion with those who are suffering as much as with those who are experiencing joy and abundance. While the ability to imagine what another sentient being is going through is important for bringing health and healing to ourselves and others, it is also one of the key human abilities that awakens and strengthens the psychic sense we used to share with nature and the animal nations. Through compassion, we create a psychic pairing with another being that's bridged through a space that no scientific instrument can detect or measure. And as with any other type of practice, the longer we stay in that space, the better we become at working with the various energies of the psychic realm. Our compassion allows us to enter that space and develop our forgotten psychic senses. Wushantognatke, empathy. To internally understand what another is feeling will serve humanity well, but when we want to do something about how we're feeling, that action is called empathy. The most direct path to empathy is to realize that the other person or being is us. Empathy is when we take action to change another person's experience because we feel compassion for that person. Empathy allows us to take action despite another being's species, race, nationality, or social class. When humanity engages our collective sense of empathy, we can move mountains. It's true that empathy can motivate and mobilize the masses, but we can't just blindly take action every time we feel bad for someone or something. There are a lot of people perpetrating abuse and corruption in the world, and an unlimited amount of wrongs to right. And we'd simply get burned out trying to step in and help fix them all. The old ones tell us that the key of effective empathy is responsibility and boundaries. When we get a sense of what's not feeling good, we have realistically uh, we have to realistically evaluate if we're in a position and willing to take responsibility for it. People who are highly empathic often get burned by ungrateful people and burned out by helping too much. The key is to determine the best use of our energy and then set a limit on it. It's a big world with a lot of pain and suffering, so let's do what we can in a responsible way so we can do as much good as possible. Spiritual practice. Tanshan, the body. Our body is a physical manifestation of creation in vibrant motion. In order to keep that vibration high, we need to be immersed in other naturally high vibration elements of creation. If we live our life indoors or stay in the city for too long, we can get depressed. When we step away from nature, our mind becomes closed, our psychic senses dull, and our heart grows cold. The spiritual practice for our body is to get back to nature, to spiritually rejuvenate, re-energize, and heal. We have to relearn how to see with our forest eyes. The key to contemplating nature is to see beyond the form of the beings in nature, which helps us to understand the energies that are required to have a system that exists in harmony, exists in harmony. It helps us to understand the space and the beings differently. It takes a little while to sit with this concept and understanding it, because we've been taught in the modern world that nature is just a pretty place full of resources for humans to exploit. Try looking at it this way. The deer did not cross the road crossed the forest. See the subtle yet profound difference. That's the difference between seeing nature with a disconnected mind and seeing Mother Earth through our forest eyes. Hmm. Medicine walk. Mani Pesuta. A medicine walk is an indigenous practice that helps to create a spiritual communion between a human being and Mother Earth. The natural world is in constant communication all around us. We need to make the conscious choice to learn how to listen. Our ancestors would take medicine walks to seek signs, omens, and signals because the Creator speaks to us through nature. Even today, Mother Earth continues to offer us her insight, answers, and healing, and we can receive them through a medicine walk. All that's required of this practice is to put our body in direct contact with nature, with no agenda and nothing to accomplish except to be fully present and intentionally connect with the vitality of the experience of the natural environment around us. Although this practice may seem obvious and something many people are already doing, there are adults from every generation and corner of society who haven't walked with their bare feet on Mother Earth or dug through soil with their bare hands with spiritual intention in decades, if ever. And there are kids of all ages that have never had the experience to directly connect with nature beyond the playground at the neighborhood park or a few school field trips. This is serious, for there are serious physical, psychological, and spiritual issues, as well as significant social repercussions when people have little to no relationship with Mother Earth. A medicine walk is one of the highest forms of spiritual self care that a human being can practice. Although our indigenous ancestors didn't need medical studies or scientific research to understand the effects of our human relationship with nature, there are plenty of reports of the benefits, which include the following: increased immune system performance, lowered blood pressure, increased blood flow through the body, reduced mental distraction and forgetfulness, improved focus, memory, and other core cognitive abilities, reduced hostile tendencies and quick to anger reactions, increased ability to work through stress, depression, and anxiety. Other benefits of a medicine walk that don't fit in the small and rigid box of modern day colonized science are the powerful spiritual and psychic effects of our human connection with Mother Earth. A medicine walk brings increases in the following areas: our intuition and other psychic senses, the frequency and abilities is in lucid dreaming, our ability to sense various natural energy fields, our ability to communicate with spirit guides and animals, the effectiveness of connecting our prayer with action, our awareness of the natural earth medicine all around us, our ability to deflect negativity and attract positivity. Being on a medicine walk also allows us to disconnect from all the violence and negativity of the online world. When we devote our attention to the endless assault of people doing horrible things to each other and the horrific things we do to other sentient beings and to our planet, we dissociate from our morals and virtues, and our senses get dulled. Humans are not built to process the massive amount of pain, suffering, and cruelty we constantly expose ourselves to in the online world, which in turn creates many of the diseases in our heart, mind, and body. Unplugging from the online world and plugging into nature is imperative to heal and regenerate our life force. And I think the next part is the practice of the medicine walk, and I think we should wait with that until tomorrow. It's quite a long one, and I think it's a nice one to dive into. Such beautiful medicine and such a beautiful way to connect with Mother Earth. So I'm looking forward to diving into the practice and how to with you all tomorrow. Thank you for being here with me, and I hope the dreams will give you everything you need to get clarity and focus, so that tomorrow can give you all that you need as well. Thank you so much. Oh, I love that you have the book now. So beautiful, and thank you for still being here with us. Such a gift to both hear and read it. So, thank you.